What's up, guys? It's Amethyst Hierophant here with my Beagle Daisy, and didn't make it up to DC today, but I am going to go on a walk because it is a beautiful day. The sun is near setting, and yeah, I need to get out and be in nature and speak and just be be with Source. So sorry, Daisy's going crazy. There's another dog. I'm going to start my video burning some Palo Santo wood to clear away any negative energy and to just connect with my higher self. I burn a lot of Palo Santo wood, more so than sage, actually. I find that something about the connection with me and the Palo wood must be a previous lifetime thing. All right, so I will catch you out on the walk. All right, guys. So yeah, happy full Leo moon of this 2023rd year. I'm definitely feeling the Leo energies. Um, Venus is the only sign that I have that's in Leo, but definitely feeling it. And I'm sure any other Leo signs out there with any placements in their natal chart are also feeling those energies. Yeah, so didn't make it up to DC. There's so much information I'm finding that it's like I want to have more myself before I go and walk around and talk about all of the deeper meanings that are in our national capital and the state capitals as well. I'd like to explore those as well and find the Messianic and Rosicrucian symbolism and placements within them. So I do plan on going to DC and then walking around there. I feel like it's going to be a really powerful video though. So it's almost like I want to collect up my own energy before I go and share that experience. So what's been going on with me lately? Well, still just working in my matrix job, but trying to find whatever lessons are still there that I need to learn before I can advance and level up or move on to the next phase, the next part of my journey. Um, and just realizing the power of my own manifestation in the secular world, in this matrix, and how I was able to use the law of attraction and utilize all these concepts that I now have names for and can understand on a more complex level, but was using all along. And being with my twin flame and watching her kids grow up, I see how kids do that too, that we truly are master manifestors when we choose to be. When we desire something, we can bring it into reality and fruition with our mind alone. So yeah, that's been cool to watch and see. Letting Daisy sniff around a little bit, do her beagle things. Uh, Other new stuff for me has been microdosing. Microdosing a new molecule um, called silomethoxin. There's actually a whole church based around this divine molecule, this divine sacred plant medicine, and the way that it combines science and nature into one is just it's beautiful in the complexity of the molecule itself, but also the experience that you truly can feel the connection between science, nature, and achieve duality and balance within that. So today is my second day of microdosing that, and honestly, I fully support what it's about, the whole church's movement, everything about it, the founders of it, what they are about, the message that they're preaching. I'm just happy to be able to experience it. I'm happy to have this opportunity and be able to speak about it and just take my life into my own hands, essentially, because I remember when I used to go to the psychiatrist, and it seemed like, sorry about the wind, guys, very windy day. Anyway, I remember going to the doctors and feeling like if I were the one with the prescription pad, then I feel like I would be able to figure out things a lot quicker and more smoothly than having somebody else be the one to administer and have their own biases and things. And that always frustrated me, that it seemed like medical stuff wasn't truly in my hands. It was left in the hands of somebody else. And that's one thing about sacred plant medicine that I fully support, is that people, individuals, can take back their power. Sorry, my dog is pulling me. She's found something she wants to sniff. But yeah, putting the power back into the hands of the people, I feel like that's essential to personal growth and higher consciousness, and collectively raising our consciousness as a species would be not being the sheep, not just following order and what we're told and what we're told will work, but taking matters into our own hands and forging our own way in this life, in this world, on this earth, and not being subservient to somebody else and what they have to say, what they think our life should look like, how people should be living. Um, so for me, that's why sacred plant medicine is so powerful, is because it's people claiming their own power. And I believe that the suppression of plant medicine in and of itself was from a place of people, of an entity, of whatever you want to call it, suppressing humanity by keeping them down. And I'm gonna sit up here, almost fell off. And I feel that, just the camera. Daisy, come here. Come here, Daisy. I feel that plant medicine, when used correctly, is what gives us back that personal power. It is, for so many people, healing of deep traumas. And I'm just one of those people. That for me, I have deep, deep, deep trauma that the pharmaceutical medications were not touching, the behavioral cognitive therapy was not touching it. They were band-aids along the way. But in order to really heal that wound, and then to be able to heal the scar that was left, that's required it's required help that has been on this planet, that a government told us that we couldn't have any longer, without really even explaining why. It's like a parent when they just say, no, you can't do this, and they can't even back it up with a reason. And I remember as a kid, that used to drive me crazy, is how can you tell me no, but then have no justification for it? And I understand that that's important some of the time, to not always know, or that somebody higher than you may already know that you won't truly understand, so to withhold that information. But as a whole species, as a human, I feel that things shouldn't be hidden, that the veil has to be lifted, and it is, for many, many brothers and sisters out there. And it's beautiful to be a part of that. It's beautiful to witness it and to collectively know that we're making a difference, that we're changing the very fabric of this matrix, of this reality, and we are moving towards a redesigned human experience, which is not based on fear. It's not based on slavery. It's not based on anything except love and love alone, and that is the age of Aquarius that we're moving into. And love is going to be what makes it possible, what brings this change about. And it's rediscovering the love that you already have within yourself that will shift how you view the world around you. And it won't always be easy because the old man inside of your head, the ego, will always be there just lying to you and telling you that things can't be good, and that you have to worry, and that you have to live in a state of not just being, of not just enjoying what we are given and just thriving in that, just taking what we're given and making the most of that, knowing that yes, we will have more and we will have better in a future state, in a future time, but that it's the journey that makes it all worth it. And for me, I have to remind myself this a lot, and I am right now, as I'm telling you guys. These videos are not for anybody but myself, and that's the main point, is that I came to a place where I realized that me raising my own consciousness will have an impact on the world. I don't even need to go out and have conversations with anybody. This experience is mine alone, and just by me understanding things. Sorry, my dog got tangled up. Come on, Daisy, go around. Anyway, me raising my own consciousness is raising the consciousness of this entire world. And that's the beauty of it, is that we are that powerful as individuals. I don't have to be on an evangelistic mission to save humanity and to raise the consciousness of others, because just raising it in myself is enough. Just by becoming in touch with who I am and my purpose and what I was called here to do is enough. That's all it requires. And the external world, that's just where we are. It's not who we are. It's just the place that we find ourselves right now. Wherever you are, in whatever body you're in, is where you find yourself right now. But we're all actually together. We're all that same source, that same spark of life. Anyway, for me, this journey is about what's going on inside, and how what's going on inside, and I don't just mean inside of my body, but in the mind, in the spirit, mastering self to then master the outside world. I'm finding that that's where true answers lie. It's not in going out and discovering space as much as the wealthy top tier want to think that's what it is. I believe that the true merit of life comes from going within. And then you realize, as above, so below, that the same stuff that we're finding out in space all originates within the human. That we are made up of what is above, which only makes sense. That's what every religion says, is that we are the divine. And for me, it's profound. It's been such a journey, and it will never be over. And that's the beauty of the journey, is it's never over. Once this body is not here and gone, this journey is not over. This journey of liberation, self-empowerment, rediscovery of who you are as a spirit and as the oneness of Source, that will continue to happen. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful experience to be here, to be able to get in touch with who I am, and to be able to have this human experience, to be able to find ways to make this human experience the place where we're going, which is the new earth, which is the state of love, and how we can achieve a balance within ourselves to just exist and be here, no matter what it looks like, no matter where we are, no matter what the setting is, no matter what the backdrop is. I have a beautiful backdrop right now. It's absolutely gorgeous, and being out in nature is so important. But regardless, if I were in a prison cell right now, I can't let that define how I feel inside. I can't let where I am, how much I have, how little I have, impact the internal feeling, because that's the key to unlocking heaven within every moment, is realizing that we can manifest second by second how we feel in future seconds. It's like we can give gifts to our future self. And I believe we can go back and heal our past selves. We can go back and within ourselves go through things that we've done, find forgiveness for ourselves, and heal past selves. And at the same time, that when we heal a past part of ourselves, we're essentially setting our future self up for a more successful life, a more happy life. But we can't let what's going on around us be the internal driver of how we choose to feel. And that's something that I'm realizing, is that whatever life looks like around me is just how it looks at the time. It's going to change. It always changes. Seasons always come and they always pass. And just like we have different signs in the zodiac, different times of the year, different experiences, different feelings. It's just part of the fabric of humanity, of this experience, of this third dimensional manifestation density that we at one point decided that we wanted to do. We dropped down to experience ourselves fully, and that's beautiful. That's how you really know something, is to break it apart and then put it back together again. I remember as a kid, that was something I liked to do. I like to take stuff apart and put it back together again. And that's a wonderful trait to have, because I would do it with everything. And I remember taking apart my laptop one time. It was the first laptop I had. I must have been 13 years old, and I took it apart. And that's when I learned that when you take something apart, you should probably take pictures of the dissecting. That way you know how to put it back together, because I struggled like hell to put this laptop back together. But I did it, and I learned. And that curious mind is wonderful. And it's what drove me to wanting to understand all these mysteries of the universe, which led me to finding myself, to finding that all the knowledge out there would never give me what I'm actually looking for, which was always right inside of me. It was always that childlike happiness and wonder of just being curious and just letting life unfold in front of you and just being here to witness it, to be a part of it. Without the adult brain after the years of programming in school of worry, 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 what am I going to do next? The mundanity of the 9 to 5 job of going in, not having enough energy or time for family. We may have to go through that on the external world. Again, it doesn't matter what's going on around us. It's how we are internally that actually matters. And that is the piece of the puzzle that I'm figuring out now. Is that, yes, I go to my job every day. I do the best job I can every day at my job. And I can do it and be happy doing it. I don't have to be miserable. I don't have to wake up and think, work. Instead, I can wake up and just go through it and know that this is just a season. This is just an aspect of life right now that's going on around me. But I can choose how I want to feel. And then in the future, that is how I will feel. And that's incredible. That we can raise our vibration and change the way future events happen in our favor to thereby be a reflection as above, so below, within, without, universe, soul, the connection, the duality, the balance. That's what I'm learning. And I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be on a soul level as happy as I am today if I didn't get to this place. I chose the higher timelines and I chose lower timelines to teach me the ways to get to the higher ones. And my soul journey has been beautiful. It's been a beautiful progression. I love now that I'm more aware of it, looking over and seeing where other people are in their journey and respecting and loving them for where they are. You know, it's not always easy. But when we can truly put ourselves as the divine source spark that we find in the awakening journey, when people realize their divine source, when we can look at that in others, it just really opens up our heart space in acceptance of things that our ego even may have told us before are not okay. Like homeless people, for me, that's a big trigger that my ego says, no, you know, you have to work and you have to do, but you don't. You are just as divinely important being homeless and begging as you would be if you were a billionaire spreading your wealth with the world and changing the world. Just as divine. That spark is within all of us. And when we come to a place of humility with that, it's very healing. When we can let the ego go and just say, you know what, I'm on my journey, and I am in no place to judge anybody else on their journey. All I can do is work on me. I can't fix anybody else. I can't spend all of my time and energy trying to make somebody else's life better when my job is to work on my own life. It's to work on me. And for me, in a partnership, that's been another profound area is in my twin flame union. I don't have to base my identity on my partner. I don't have to base anything on them because we're both working on ourselves together. We're there to support each other. We're not there to necessarily mirror or match each other. We're there to support wherever we are. And that's incredible. When you get to a place of peace where you can do that with someone, it's incredible. Because you're not putting pressure on them to be what you might think you need, that you are already within yourself. Instead, you can just work on yourself. You have a space where somebody holds you to work on what you need to work on and to become who you need to become in the love and support of another. And it's beautiful. When you have that, it definitely helps or hinders. I don't know. I guess that would be for the individual to decide. But in my journey and this experience for me, union has been a key thing, and I've tried to be in a union with the wrong person a couple of times now, and it didn't work out. But once you are in union with that like mind, with somebody who is so much you that you are mirrors of each other, and you are able to look and see, okay, what do I need to do to make myself a better person so that I can be what this person would want? And to do that together simultaneously is just a recipe for bliss, because you're both broken, working on yourselves together and healing each other by healing the self, by going inside, by changing things from thought in the mind to creating the external reality that you want to live in. It's just a beautiful day. It's a beautiful life. I am just here for the experience. I'm here for my experience, for my soul's expansion back to oneness. I'm thankful for everything that I have now in the future. I'm thankful for every experience that I've been through to get me to where I am right now, that can lead to the futures that I envision for myself. I see myself being able to be fully financially supported in doing what I love, which would be helping other people on their journey, if they so choose. If I'm somebody that they resonate with, being somebody that can walk alongside them, however that looks, and help them in experiencing what I am. And I've had people who have walked with me, and for me it's been the YouTube content creators that I follow. And it's like they're reaching their hand back and showing me, okay, come on this way, let's go just a little bit further, we're almost there. And even though they're not there yet, watching them go through the experience is just, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to know that when they speak, they're speaking to me, and that when I speak right now, I'm speaking to somebody else in the same motion, of raising the human consciousness, in the same notion of recognizing the divinity within ourselves, and for people to just get out in nature like I am encouraged to do. I don't get out in nature as much as I should during the week because matrix job. It's hard. It's hard day in and day out doing something that you're good at. It satisfy, feed your soul purpose for being here. And I don't get out as much as I'd like to. I have a long commute. I enjoy that, just driving and being out in the sun when I go to work and then coming home and getting to see the stars and the moon. I love that. Um, but I see my future. I see myself being out in nature a lot more. I see myself just speaking a lot more, attending events with like-minded people, and continuing with this channel and just finding my way. All I'm doing. I don't know the way yet. I'm just finding it as I go. And I'm following people who are doing the same thing. I think together we're powerful and we can change the world. I know that in my heart. I have no doubt that what I'm doing is changing the world. It's having that much of an impact because I recognize that I am that powerful. And that every day, choosing to breathe, choosing to be present in the moment, choosing my thoughts, choosing which thoughts I allow myself to think about is changing everything. It's changing everything inside of me. And the external might not be exactly where I want it to be just yet. But I know that I'm making it happen. I know that I'm creating the future that I want. I know that I'm speaking to somebody. I don't know who, and I don't know when they'll be a part of the journey, but I know that the messages that I'm sharing are for someone, even if that someone is just myself. And that's all I have to worry about. It's just me. There are other people in my life that I care for, but at the end of the day, who I can control, who I can truly care for, is myself. And that love for myself is what will drive me or what will hinder me. How much am I loving myself? Am I loving myself enough to get up, to go out and make a video, to go out on a cold day and talk to myself in nature? And I do love myself that much. And I love myself in a way now that I couldn't have ever imagined in a past state. I couldn't have imagined being who I am today, doing what I'm doing. Never. I could never imagine that. Does it make sense? It makes sense, and along the way there were hints. I remember in high school, it was when the public school started rolling out the not online, but computer-based program to assess current skills, kind of like a personality test, and then it would match you up with potential jobs that you would be good at, potential career choices. And I remember doing that my freshman year in high school. The number one was motivational speaker, public speaker, and I just could not understand it because my fear of speaking was so deep. I was so afraid to speak. And then to see that, it was just like, no, this can't be right. I remember retaking it, trying to change my answers on it, and must have been like 3 or 4 times. I just kept getting public speaker, public speaker. And I just, sorry about the wind, guys. No, that must be loud. I remember just wanting to be an actor. I remember that was what I wanted to be more than anything. But the thing about acting is you get to be somebody else. You get to develop a character within yourself and then portray that character. And I was good at that. In high school, when I found theater, I remember just really feeling my niche there and being able to be somebody else. But I was scared shitless to be myself more than anything. Just speaking about something that I had passion about was terrifying to me. And I would avoid it at all costs. I remember in school when you have public speaking presentations and such, I would just tell my teachers beforehand, no, I'm going to take the zero on this. I'm either not going to come the day that I'm supposed to, or just basically I'm not going to do it. And I held that mentality until college, when I finally started to realize that, I would have to overcome that fear. I would have to get in touch with myself and start doing things that were uncomfortable. And then I realized that the more you do those uncomfortable things, the easier they become. And you can overcome fear in that way. And I'm glad I learned that, because I wouldn't be where I am today had I not. Clearing the throat chakra. But for me, it took a lot of work in the lower chakras to ever be able to get up to the throat. Man, I had so much work on the lowers. Childhood trauma definitely stays with you and definitely affects the lower chakras. And I had a lot of work there to go through healing and processing and clearing those lower chakras to work my way up to that heart space. And I still have work in those lower chakras. By all means, I am not a completed project. I still have much work. But I worked my way up in healing to the heart space. And I found that self-love, found acceptance, forgiveness. This wind is horrible. I'm going to get somewhere less windy. And I worked my way up to my heart center and cleared it. And just the natural progression was up to the throat. Sacred plant medicine was, for me, what popped my third eye open. I would say it was long overdue. I was searching for it to happen much sooner than I was actually ready for it to happen. And when it did, and I got in touch with my heart center, I mean, it's just natural that, between my heart, my third eye, I would have to learn how to speak. I would have to learn how to speak with my own voice. And even when it's scary, to do it. Moses, it's a biblical character that I always resonated with. But Moses was scared to death to speak in front of people. He did not want to go to the Pharaoh by any means and say a damn thing because it's suspected that Moses had a speech impediment. And of course he would be embarrassed to speak. Of course he wouldn't feel like how would he be the spokesperson for God? Of course he was very confused by that. And that story is just a reflection of us in that we have to clear our own throat chakra, and no matter how unworthy we may feel to be the spokesperson for God, because that's what we are, that's what I'm doing, I'm the spokesperson to tell you that you are God, and that God is within you, and that together we are the collectiveness of God. And to be able to do that, as me, like Moses, feels like, huh? I'm the one for that job? You chose me? You chose the person who was scared more than anything to have to read in elementary school in the reading circles, and who would have to frantically, and even with anxiety, at the age of 7 and 8, would have this huge anxiety for watching people and knowing that my turn was going to come up to read a paragraph or a sentence. You chose that person, God? It's all right. But in accepting that and realizing that, yeah, we were chosen, is when you realize that it's our journey. It's your personal journey. And, some people, they're born and they can just speak and they have no problem with it. But they have other aspects of themselves that they have to work on, and there are other biblical characters that match different aspects that we all need to work on. So we all have something to grab onto, something tangible that we can read and see and make the connections back to self to realize that we're a work in progress and we're working on ourselves. That our soul's evolution is us working on ourselves, perfecting ourselves. And evolution has been humanity perfecting itself. And we get to be a part of that. That's a life experience. That's what this is us getting to experience us and learn to love ourselves fully for who we are. Learn to love others fully for who they are, no matter how different it may look. That we get to experience this together. That we're all in this world together. We're all in this experience. Separated by our mind, separated by our ego, but we're also one in the balance of that. And that I am Brandon, but I am the collectiveness of God. I am Source as well. And coming to that place of balance is where we find heaven. It's where we find nirvana. It's where we step out of the third dimension into the fifth. When Flame just sent me, it was 444. Good moment. I love catching the angel numbers, and it's funny because when I don't catch them, I almost get offended with the universe. I'm almost like, are you kidding me? It's 332. It's 334. It's not 333 right when I look at my phone. But then it's no. You have to experience not hitting those angel numbers so that when you do hit them, it's that much more meaningful. And yeah, so I need to just get more happy when I do hit them and not be so concerned about having the angel numbers just always hitting. That's not how it works. Though I do find that it's when I'm in my lower density self, when I'm more wrapped up in the ego, that I find myself getting offended and not seeing them. And then when I'm in my higher self and I'm just living authentically and living life happily and just going along with it, that's when I see them all the time. So that's an indicator there that I need to just live in the spirit, not in the flesh. And that would be the same message I would offer you to do. Whoever you are, listener, I would argue that you should live more in your higher self, because you will find that it is a space of love for all, for yourself and for everything around you. And that in that space, there's nothing wrong. You can just focus on existing. There's no boundaries, limitations set on you. You just exist. I've been walking with Daisy since she was a puppy, and she's almost 10 years old now. Let me get her in this frame. And walking with her having her to walk with me, to walk me, having this animal to walk me, has been the most healing activity I think I could have ever asked for. And having her as my familiar has been the most wonderful, wonderful experience. And sometimes frustrating. Being a dog owner is not always pleasant, but those bad moments, they're made up for by the good ones. Tenfold. Tenfold. When I feel down and I haven't even said anything to anybody and Daisy comes up and nudges me, that is just a magical, magical feeling. And pet owners who have awoken, I'm sure will also attest to that animals are just magical beings in how they're able to sense energies and respond to them. This past week, I've been hardcore listening to videos about the secret symbolism in Washington, D.C. And that's led me to just seeing that this is nothing new, that obelisk, the giant, pentagon-looking towers are nothing new, that they've been here since Egypt, and that we've been building them, and what they represent. So I've been hardcore into that, and then kind of realizing here at the end of the rabbit hole that I've been in is like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that we're continuing to make these towers and things that have been here since the beginning societies and what we have left of societies that have thrived in the past. So I've kind of hit a point with the architectural aspect of the secret meanings in a place where I'm accepting it. It's not surprising by any means. It's expected almost. The geometry has to match. It's just the laws of this reality. And those who are able to control this reality know that. Of course they do. Their biggest fear is everybody waking up like we are. People like me coming to terms with what's going on and seeing the bigger picture. And none of that really matters because all of the external, again, is just a reflection of the internal. It's wherever I choose to put power, that power will be. It's wherever we, you, me, everybody, put power, that power will be. That's why we have a currency system. We put power in money. Flip your dollar bill over. You'll see how much hidden secret power is written on that little piece of fabric. But that little piece of fabric alone does nothing. It's what we put into it as far as power that actually gives it the meaning of what it is. And we've been told to do that for a long time. You can go back and see all the ancient currencies that have been used. And they always put the powerful leader's face on it. But really that's just our face. It's just another human face, so to speak. Where we put our power is what we will see, is what we will create. And that's why when we live in a state of fear will increase because the power behind it gets stronger. And I believe that fear feeds feeds something. I don't know what it is yet, but I believe that fear is feeding something, and it's what's keeping us bound. It's just fear. Fear alone is what keeps us bound. That's the shackles that we wear, is fear. And to step out of fear into love is the Lover's card of the tarot deck. I think about the Devil card and the bounding. You're bound by fear of, let's just say, a devil. Are you afraid of the devil? I'm not afraid of the devil anymore. As a matter of fact, I've come to embrace what is known as the devil, who is known as Lucifer. When you come to a place where you realize that that's just an archetype, that Jesus is just an archetype representing us, let us not forget that it's just representing us, the higher and lower aspects of self. And when you embrace what is, and you're not afraid any longer, the shackles break, and you're brought to the place of love, where you can just exist without limitation, because you are limitless. I am limitless. We're in a body, but we're limitless. Go outside, look up. Look around you. There's just openness. And scientists, when they discover matter, the strange thing they find is that they can't seem to find the matter, and that every time they do, they're just finding more empty space. More and more empty space. And subatomic particles that realistically altogether weigh absolutely nothing. And that it's really just empty space. And particles of light. That's all you're seeing. That's all this is. Space and light. And you are light. You're a very strong light. More than you might realize. Even, I would challenge to say, even if you are living fully in your higher self, you're more powerful even still than you think. Because we all are. We are light. We are human. We are light men. And we get to choose what we do with the light that we're given. That energy we feel, what do we do with it? Do we keep it to ourselves, or do we give it back to the world? I'm sure you can see people who keep things to themselves, the selfish mentality. And it's in us all. In some deep, dark, secluded place of ourselves, we all just want to be the most powerful, of course. But then who do you get to share it with? You can be all powerful and sit alone on your throne, and then you realize the reason that we're down here in the first place is that that's exactly what God did. That's exactly what we are. We were everything, all powerful, and even that wasn't enough. Therefore, we had to break ourselves, step down in density, step down a lot in density, and experience ourselves and have the hero journey. Because we all love the tale of the hero's journey, of seeing somebody go from nothing to self-made everything. And it's really not self-made. There's always influences and factors along the way that help us to achieve we're meant to achieve. And there are people that come along the way and help us to get where we're going. But it's all the hero journey. We're all just getting to the place of self-acceptance, of self-love, self-awareness. And I love it. I love being able to be me, to be Brandon. Even when I have branches smack me in the face, I love it. I love being able to come out in nature, in servitude of others, in spreading this message of hope, this message of keep going, this message of you're almost there. This is your hero's journey. This is my hero's journey. And we make it what we want to make it, based on the inside. I'm glad that whatever part of myself is trying to stop myself from getting up and coming out to make these videos, I'm glad that I'm fighting it. I'm glad my higher self is like, no, we got to do it. Because when I do it, the effects for me are just absolutely amazing. I feel so much happier after I do this. When I post it, and then when I share it with others, it's just what it does to me on a soul level is amazing. I can't use that word enough. And I get to just come out, be with myself, walk around, talk, not give a flying fuck who hears me, and speak about where I am in my journey right now, and speak about the lessons I'm learning along the way, and know that I'm doing the exact same thing that the people who have changed my life up to this point are doing. That the people that I follow on YouTube do exactly what I'm doing. We're in it together. We're collective. And I'm in this for what it is. This journey of life. I'm in it for whatever it brings. Whatever lessons there are to be learned, I still need to learn. I'm here for them. I'm present and aware and choosing internally the life that I want to experience. And as a result, experiencing the life that I've always dreamed of. And I get to do it with my beagle. I get to do it with Daisy. I get to do it with you. We're here together at this time. If you're watching this, you're meant to be watching it. And you're receiving my energies. And you're walking with me, in a sense. And I'm so thankful. Because when you walk alone, you realize that you're walking with so many people. When you just come out and record yourself walking. And there's not just people watching me that are walking with me. There's spirits that walk with us. There's people who have left this earth that choose to walk with us through our journey, I'm aware of a few of those spirits that walk with me. I'm so thankful for their support, that they chose to be a part of my experience and to be with me energetically in the spirit realm. I love you guys, and thank you for walking with me. Thank you for listening to me, for allowing me to experience this. And I hope that you know how wonderful you are, how magical you are, how divine you are, how powerful you are, how loved you are, how forgiven you are, how cherished you are, and how much I love you. And I'm just happy to be doing this. I'm happy to be experiencing this life. I'm happy to walk my dog. That's all I'm doing is just walking my dog. So yeah, I hope you got something from this message. I'm sure there was something somewhere that meant something. And even if it didn't, thanks for walking with me. All right. I'm going to go back to another week of working in my job, of doing the best I can day in and day out to experience this life, to enjoy the experience, and to discover more, to never stop learning, to always stop limiting myself. So yeah, thanks for walking with me. Much love to you. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy these energies of the full moon today in Leo, in this age of Aquarius. Feel those energies and live your best life. And I will continue to live mine to the best of my ability. Peace.